a high school, hotel, senior housing complex and other buildings in the town of 10,000 suffered structural damage, according to emergency officials and local media. Some were being used as shelters. As many as 6 million people were believed to be in Harvey's path, as is the heart of America's oil refining operations. The storm's impact on refineries has already pushed up gasoline prices, while the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency lifted some rules on gasoline to reduce shortages. Donald Trump, facing the first large-scale natural disaster of his presidency, said on Twitter he signed a disaster proclamation which unleashes the full force of government help shortly before Harvey made landfall. Fueled by the warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico, Harvey became the first Category 4 hurricane to wallop the United States since Charley in 2004 and the first to hit Texas since Carla in 1961. About 30 miles, 45 kilometers, from Corpus Christi and moving northwest, Harvey caused scattered power outages both on the coast near Galveston and 100 miles, 160 kilometers, inland. While thousands fled the expected devastating flooding and destruction, many residents defied mandatory evacuation orders and stocked up on food, fuel, and sandbags, drawing the ire of local authorities. "We're suggesting if people are going to stay here, mark their arm with a Sharpie pen with their name and social security number," Rockport Mayor Pro Tem Patrick Rios told reporters Friday, according to media reports. "We hate to talk about things like that. It's not something we like to do, but it's the reality. People don't listen." Evacuations. As a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale, Harvey could uproot trees, destroy homes, and disrupt utilities for days. It is the first major hurricane, of Category 3 or more, to hit the mainland United States since Hurricane Wilma struck Florida in 2005. Harvey's size and strength also dredged up memories of Katrina, the 2005 hurricane that made a direct hit on New Orleans as a Category 3 storm, causing levees and flood walls to fail in dozens of places. About 1,800 died in the disaster, made worse by a slow government emergency response. Corpus Christi, a city of 320,000, was under voluntary evacuation for Harvey. As the storm churned toward land, high winds rocked the few remaining cars circulating, littered streets palm tree debris and rocked sailboats in their docks. About 85 miles, 137 kilometers, north in Victoria, Mayor Paul Palasek told CNN he estimated that 60% to 65% of the town's 65,000 residents defied the mandatory evacuation order. Jose Rengel, a 47-year-old who works in construction, said he was one of the few people in Jamaica Beach in Galveston that did not heed a voluntary evacuation order. "All the shops are empty," he said as the sky turned black and rain fell. "It's like a tornado went in and swept everything up." With the hurricane lashing the Texas coast, at least 3 cruise ships operated by Carnival Corp with thousands of passengers aboard were forced to change their plans to sail for the port of Galveston. 2 of them headed New Orleans to pick up fresh supplies, while the third delayed its departure from Cozumel, Mexico. Louisiana and Texas declared states of disaster, authorizing the use of state resources to prepare. The NHC's latest tracking model shows the storm sitting southwest of Houston for more than a day, giving the nation's 4th most populous city a double dose of rain and wind. The city warned residents of flooding from close to 20 inches, 60 centimeters, of rain over several days. Gasoline prices spiked. Gasoline stations on the South Texas coast were running out of fuel as thousands of residents fled the region. U.S. gasoline prices spiked as the storm shut down 22% of Gulf of Mexico oil production, according to the U.S. government. Concern that Harvey could cause shortages in fuel supply drove benchmark gasoline prices to their highest in 4 months, before profit-taking pulled back prices. Meanwhile, U.S. gasoline margins hit their strongest levels in 5 years for this time of year. The U.S. government said it would make emergency stockpiles of crude available if needed to plug disruptions. It has regularly used them to dampen the impact of previous storms on energy supplies.